thank you for being the shit. All right. Well, lots to get to today. We have, as promised, the Hot Cup of Jill with Ace Over Easy.
So happy.
Morning show. Jill is Zarin. One of the most popular Real Housewives of New York City, I guess. I think that's her batch. She probably started. She's a fun character to watch. Mm-hmm. There's entertainment to find there. My new jam is all the real estate shows where the hot people are arguing.
The Selling Sunsets and all those?
Yeah, just good-looking people stabbing each other in the back and $26 million homes in the Palisades.
I figured that'd be a thing.
You know what you are? You're the microcosm of the Prius and the Octagon. You're a one-man walking version.
Yes, they call that a Renaissance man.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's what that meant.
I love, I do, well, in defense of me, I just, there are all those real estate shows that are like houses under $20 and miniature houses and stuff. And that's like,
no interest.
That's like fat people doing porn. Like, I want to see the $35 million place in Malibu that I cannot afford. I'd like a tour of that house. Right. That's why there's no art museum that says finger painting from your kids.
That's what the fridge is for.
Or do an exhibit on shit that was taken off of refrigerators. No, you want to see you want to see the good stuff.
You're right.
And they always do this thing where it's like, well, that's not accessible to our audience. Well, I watched A Love Boat when I was 11. It's not accessible.
Yeah, it's aspirational.
I want to see us. I'll watch Good Times.
Right.
Fine.
Agreed. There was a show that ran on Food Network for years called, I think it was called Unwrapped, with Mark Summers, the game show host, the Double Dare or whatever it was. And it was Mark Summer, he never actually went there, he voiced it over, but like they went to like factories and like showed how like Hershey's Kisses were made.
Yes.
And like how potato chips were made. Yeah. And it's like, this is not what Food Network is for. Yes, it's food, but like I want to see like the world-class or the deep sea fisherman or the world-class restaurant or
aspirational.
Just the crazy stuff.
How candy is made is very Mr. Rogers.
I don't give a shit about the factory.
Yes.
This is anti-Food Network.
Yes, I don't want to go to a car show with Camrys. I want to go there with Lamborghinis and Duesenbergs, and I can't afford those, but I want to look at them.
But you want to see the owners of those throw drinks in each other's faces and call each other a bitch.
That's right.
I see.
And have unusually long hair. Mm-hmm. The women, once that hair gets Rita Coolidge length, it start to fall into place. If your hair can make it onto your plate, it's too long.
I'm with you.
It's too long. A few of those bitches got extensions. It's down past the waist.
Yeah.
They love throwing it around.
Yeah, to make a point.
It's essentially, the guy in his cape. Good day. You know what I mean? They do a good day move with their hair.
Yes.
I actually fit into that category unironically in middle school. My hair would fall out onto my plate, but it wouldn't actually reach my plate. It would be falling.
It would technically touch your plate.
You should, Jim. That tumor may go back further than you realize.
Oh, no, they think so.
So, yes, a lot of crazy hair flipping, a lot of turning, and also it punctuates you turning your back on someone and storming out because the hair is still swinging while you're walking toward the Uber.
Yes.
Anyway, so we have Jill Zarin, and this is a flashback. I don't know what that was from 2011, where she came in here, and I have little to no recollection of it other than she was horrible, but she was pitching doing a morning show with me.
Great.
And what kind of show would you and I do? And what did you pitch to me?
Well, by the way, you think you're the funny one. I thought I was the funny one and you were the straight one.
That was not your pitch, Jill.
I swear I'm the funny one.
What was your pitch?
Ask anybody.
You told me to ask your husband if you were funny.
I'm really funny, I swear to God. Well, no, I think we would have a great advice talk show. But you handle the men and I handle the women. So actually, I can handle the men too, and you can handle love problems for girls who can't find a guy. I can handle why the guy's a loser and can't get the girl.
You see the sign
of
like syndicated daytime thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hit!
I agree.
Mm-hmm. You agree?
You and I had great chemistry.
Yes, we did.
Don't worry, Lynette.
We were drunk.
A little drunk.
To be
you
fair.
were drunk. I don't drink.
That was Andy Cohen's show. I was drunk.
You were drunk.
They keep filling. I was drinking Mangria, and they keep
We had a good time that night.
Yeah, had a good time.
That was a great episode, right? Look, and I was wearing a great dress.
Andy Cohen almost wore socks. It was that good an episode. And he told me he'd get shit-faced at those things. Like, he had to tell him to mellow out with the booze. Because they just keep filling your cup up.
Yeah, he likes it.
Hold on. Pause it for a second. The only time I've really seen August lit up, and Chris was pretty lit up too, but I've not, August has a drink or two, but
right.
I haven't seen him lit up, was when we did, God, what was that chef show in Vegas?
Oh, Hell's Kitchen?
Hell's Kitchen. Because they just kept pouring. They walk around. You're talking to someone and you look and your glass is full again. But you don't think my glass is full again. You just go, I guess I haven't drank it. And you just keep drinking. And when we try to get up, there was an issue. There's an issue for Mike and an issue for Chris, I think, as well. Yeah.
It's for the cameras. They don't want any drinks to have.
So when you do Cohen's show, they top it off. They just keep, and by the way, it's that way for Match Game with Baldwin as well. They just come out every commercial break. They top it off. You have no idea how much you're drinking, and it hits you.
And that was Mangria.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Me and Jill.
He got a show. Congratulations to Andy Cohen. 5 nights a week.
Oh, the gays must be rioting in the streets.
They're rioting. He's a riot. He is. I love the
Turning
format.
over Miatas.
He's got really funny skits. I love his skits.
Should we do skits?
Definitely. Not funny.
No, but definitely skits. You got to do skits.
Would you also do bits?
Bits of skits.
Bits or skits?
What is a bit?
Yeah.
You got to do skits.
Skits?
Yeah.
All right, Allison, you got a little more news to do, by the way. And Jill, you hang in and jump in. And again, if we're going to do this show together, I need to feel you rolling with these news stories because we're doing the show every day.
Okay.
And I don't
do it every day.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Jill and Ace in the morning or something. We'll work on the title.
Oh, you could go first.
Hot Cup of Jill with Ace over Easy. And it's going to be syndicated. So it'd be on from 9 a.m. till, noon all around the country. Hot Cup of Jill with Ace in the morning.
Have you spoken to your agent yet?
Yes.
Liar.
Well,
He's lying.
No, I'm
He's
not.
lying with his eyes.
Not about this.
You talk to him all the time.
Yeah, I spoke to him. We talked about Jon Stewart, maybe. No.
Who is your agent?
James Baby Doll Dixon. Hot Cup of Jill with Ace over Easy in the morning. And then we just come out every morning and we're peppy, man,
Yeah,
and I'm dressed. I'm having Bobby dress me.
Oh, Bobby's good. We'll take you shopping.
He's dressing me, and we're sitting on stools, but it's casual.
I'll get you some free clothes.
Yeah, I want some free. And we're sitting on our stools.
Did anyone laugh at that? That is so funny that I just said that.
I laughed.
I laughed inside. And that's going to be your thing. Did anyone laugh at that?
Oh, yeah. That's good.
And then we're going to have... this is going to be our song, by the way. And we're going to come down. And we're going to have our super gay producer, Derek. And he's never going to think anything's funny. We're just going to see him shaking his head all the time. And he always wears a different...
Long-suffering Derek.
He wears a different color sweater.
It's your producer.
Every day. Derek,
No.
You
haven't hired him yet.
Oh, we haven't hired him.
Hot Cup of Jill and Ace over Easy.
Do we know who he is, or we're making his name?
Positive. All right. I think it was pretty clear that we'd establish a sort of hypothetical. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll put the stools
in this
out.
fantasy land,
We'll come out in the morning. We'll get this thing syndicated.
Right.
And then at some point, I go and we have a producer named Derek. And he's like, where is he?
Yeah. Is he here?
Is he real?
Can I meet him?
But it's like saying... We're going to throw a picnic.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we're going to have turkey.
Yep.
And we're going to have
salad.
cold cuts.
Yeah.
And we're going to have macaroni salad.
Coleslaw.
And we're going to have ambrosia salad. And then she'd go, where's the ambrosia
I
salad?
don't see it on the
Can I have
table.
that?
I'm pretty
Is it
hungry.
here?
Yeah.
It's a weird toggling. All right, we'll keep playing it. Sorry.
There's a different color sweater.
It's your producer.
Every day. Derek,
Here?
No.
You haven't hired him yet.
Oh, we haven't
In
hired
Hot
him.
Cup
Do we
of
even
Jill
know,
and Ace
do we know
over
who he
Easy.
is, or we're making his name up?
We're going to cast him. He's not really going to produce the
His
show.
real name is Gregory.
Right.
Okay.
And we sit on stools, lucite.
But it has to be have a back.
Yeah, have a back for sure,
Have a
but it'll be
back.
lucite.
Has to have
And then
a cushion. Has to have
And you have Hot Cup of Joe with Ace on the side mugs you drink out of.
Right. And we do a bit called Where the Heck is Bobby? And we send them all around
That's
the
her
world.
husband.
Bobby's sleeping
And
until
that's
noon.
the joke. That's the joke. Every time we find out he's just asleep.
Quick turn.
Turns out he's at home asleep.
He's not listening, you see.
We
I
get
am in so much
sponsored.
trouble.
Top 10 tech innovations
I
or
like
techie
'em.
things. We'll have a tech segment. Mr. Gadget will come in and do.
I'm a gadget freak. You love my gadgets.
That's perfect.
What are your top
Perfect.
10 gadgets? Can we get a preview?
The iPad keyboard.
You know what? Let's walk over to the Lucite demonstration table. There's going to be a lot of Lucite on here. We're going to walk over to that. Mr. Gadget will come out. He'll do a bit with us. Then he's going to tell the entire audience everyone is getting an iPad. By the way, they go berserk. Look at the keyboard. They all go nuts. All right, when we come back, Where's Bobby? Newt Gingrich is going to be out here to play celebrity round of politician round of Where's Bobby? And also, we're going to be doing What Can't Jill Complain About on Hot Cup of Jill with Ace over easy. Coming back at 2 and 2. Loving
You
it.
are so good.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So good.
Yeah, that's why we do our thing.
What else is on your gadget
We got to
list?
get this going.
I got the new iPhone 4, and I like talking to it. I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, that's good. We're going to bring it home anyway.
I'm going down.
We got to pitch this thing around town. I need you to have a fresh voice for that. We got to get pitching.
You want me to come back this week?
No, tonight.
Tonight?
We're going tonight.
No time to waste.
Yeah, going out.
No, but I could come back. I think we could really do something.
I think we could do it.
Oh boy. I like that the only time she yes ands is when she actually thinks you're going to pitch this.
Well, there's many things to admire about the woman. I love the out loud thinkers. I love the people who, Dr. Drew does this a little bit. They're doing like a podcast or a radio show, and like somebody walks by the window and they go, "Hey, dude." Like in the middle of you talking about in the Philippines, a ferry overturned. Hey, that's that guy. Like, it's like
Garagos is here.
they're the out loud thinkers. They see things and they just react out loud to them all the time. I like that.
Or like thanking people for bringing them the coffee in the middle of the show.
I like when you go, we'll have the gadget guys. I like gadgets. We'll have the ice cream guy. I like ice cream. We'll
have masseuse come out. I like massage.
We'll have the weather guy. Oh, I like weather.
Sunny.
Like it's a weird random association thing where you just say something and then they say something out loud.
Well, it's either that or it's they're on and that's their way of thinking they're participating.
But here's the interesting part of life that no one really tells you about. We just heard this woman's thought process, right? And it sounds borderline insane to us.
Childlike.
Zigzaggy.
Childlike, right.
Yes.
This woman is very successful.
Yeah.
Now, we all know people, and I have family members, that track much more clearly than Jill Zarin. Almost everyone who's ever been born.
Tessa, I would argue.
Yeah. Yeah. Sonny, Natalia,
Sure.
Tessa, anybody who has kids over the age of zygote, they track better than Jill Zarin. Everyone I know does. She is more successful than almost everyone I know.
All of them put together.
Combined. So why is it my dad is a good tracker, but he cannot figure out a way to get any rubber to the road?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Why? And we do a lot of talk about intellect. You know, this guy's so bright, a good student. You know what I mean? Sharp.
Yeah.
This girl, sharp, fast on her feet, whatever. Jill Zarin is none of those, but wildly successful. At least she was, as portrayed in the Real Housewives of New York.
Her husband's successful. I mean, like that's the gist of those shows, right? Is a rich husband, housewife who spends the money. However, you're right. We know her name. She's
runs
famous.
the business. I'm basing this on the show, but she runs the business with him. That's how it's portrayed on the show.
So my point is, do you think? I mean, I know that she exists in a time that values where her scatterbrained, out of itness is a value, you know what I mean, on TV. Like that would not work in 1970. That would not work in almost any other era. But in 2022 or 2011, whatever that was, that is a commodity that makes her a good TV star on that show.
I don't know if their business is going well, Chris, or what it is, but
And is she named as a running of the business for tax purposes?
I
write off her car.
I don't like your tone. From the episodes I watched, she would be in there picking out fabrics and discussing. Now, I don't know what's staged and whatever. I'm sure she's not driving a forklift or doing inventory, but she is involved with a successful business and she's there. What I'm saying is this. There's two qualities that she possesses that we don't really talk about that much. Like I said, we kind of talk about intellect and brain. You know, this gal's got great brains, or great, he's a good student, or he's fast.
Critical thinker.
Yeah. This country's not really set up for that. It's more set up because we all know very smart people that are not very successful. She has two things. One is I am going to do, I literally have a note on my cork board at home because I want to do a documentary about the number one most important quality of all the successful people I know that we never discuss because it's hard to quantify. It's never discussed at school. Personal momentum. She has personal, she actually thinks we're doing a morning show together. She thinks she's successful. She doesn't understand why she shouldn't be a TV star, why she shouldn't have a camera following her. And it fucking works.
Yeah.
It works a lot.
Hell yes.
It works a lot. All DJ Khaled is personal momentum. That's all. He literally is the poster child. He embodies that. We the best, we the best, we the best. First off, it's not we, it's them. You don't do anything. And people go, I like that guy. I like that guy. You like that guy because he's talking about the best, and this is the best, and he's pointing thing. She has two things. And DJ Khaled has this as well. Has a personal momentum mixed with work. Like, they don't mind working. You have to want to work. The personal momentum minus the work that's nothing.
Doesn't mean anything.
That's you got a can opener and no beans.
What was the show you did with Trump when he said this will be the greatest, highest rated show we've ever done? It's the same thing.
That was the marriage draft.
Right.
That's right. I told everyone. They're like, oh, why was Trump elected? I haven't told this in a story in a while. Like, why was Trump? Oh, because of this or racism or border, whatever. It's personal momentum. Yes, we sat backstage at the marriage draft. Me, him, and Gloria Stefan from Miami Sound Machine. I was like, oh, I better bring the fucking funny today because I was supposed to be in charge of the funny, you know. And Gloria, not a laugh riot. I don't know if you know that about her. A sweet, sincere woman. Now, actually, it's interesting because she is a portrait of sort of quiet sincerity.
Sure.
And Trump was just back there going, this is going to be number one ratings. You check those ratings tomorrow. You check those ratings. Slapping me on the back. Did it before the show, after show. Check the overnights. Check them tomorrow. You'll see this number one. This will be their number one highest rated episode they've ever had. And I was like kind of looking at Trump, who was Trump back then.
Who was just Trump back then.
Just Trump back then. And Gloria and me. And I was kind of like, sure, they've had a stronger roster.
Seinfeld was on here at some point.
Yeah, Seinfeld popped in on an episode, and he said, and about the third time he slapped me on the back and said, we're gonna be number one. I actually felt good.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that because they're, at least with Trump and certainly DJ Khaled, and to a lesser extent Jill Zarin, but they all, along with personal momentum, an element of that is telling people what they want to hear and making them feel good about what you're doing. Like, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. We're the best. We're going to do this. Or we're doing a morning show and it's going, or it's going to be all over the country. Whatever it is, yes, we can do this. So get together and it's going to happen.
It's a leadership quality.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're looking for a quality for your child to have, studious is fine, but that doesn't necessarily get you anywhere. The personal... That's how Jimmy Kimmel, Bill Simmons, these are all guys like, Ace, we should go do this. Like, let's go start a show. And I was guys sitting around going, who's going to let us do a show? Right. And it sounded like a rabbi, but there were the guys going, here we go. Right. Here we go. And I was going, why does anyone want to hear from us? You know, I mean, I understood we're funny, but I was like, come on, who's going to let us do a show? And that was
Jimmy. That's Bill Simmons. That's a lot of guys I know that are just they're. What's the difference? Are they funnier than everyone? Are they smarter than everyone? They just go. They're not scared to work. Right. They have momentum.
And it makes me think of all those, you've heard all those entrepreneur stories of these wildly successful people that are like, I would buy candy for 25 cents and sell it at school for $1.
Right.
You can identify this stuff early.
Yeah.
Garagos has that.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yes. It's all, just about all successful people have that. Now, mind you, I guess you could have 185 IQ and be certified genius or something and have a little less of that, but you've invented something.
Yeah, but you could also be the Unabomber.
Something. Right. Jill's company, Jill Zarin Home, has over 100 million in sales since its 2017 launch. I should have been kissing her ass. I should have been going, fuck the morning show. Yeah. Let's do a textiles.
Let's go to textiles, yes.
Her rugs made $10 million last year. So there's something, whatever you heard, whatever that kind of scattershot brain you just heard, somehow is good for 10 million in rugs last year.
You know who sounds like, because again, you guys are way more well versed in the Real Housewives than I am. But we've had her, Bethany Frankel. Mm-hmm. Amazing, right?
I think she's actually smarter than average.
She's very interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
If I may do Last Kiss Rodeo, you do have a little bit of that. You do have a little bit of the personal. No, sorry. The We the Best, jump on board. I remember when you're putting a podcast back together, or excuse me, the show back together in podcast form in 2010, and we spoke on the phone, and you were like, I believe in this. Let's, we're not going to make any money at first, but this has potential. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, you I don't know if you're overflowing with it, but you do have something.
What happens is a couple things. You have to be a realistic assessor of your talent, your ability, and whatever. Like, I'm realistic. I'm funny. I can speak. People want to listen. It's fine. I objectively understand that.
You sound like Stuart Smalley.
And gosh darn it, people love me. And then the other part is, once you hang around with people who do enough stuff and you've done enough stuff, then writing another book or starting another endeavor or whatever, it doesn't sound as far-fetched as it did when you were 19 and living in the garage. So you just sort of, it becomes infectious from a people around you standpoint, but an internal standpoint too. Once, I'm sure Jimmy sits around and goes, watches Saved by the Bell and goes, why don't we do a live sitcom of that? And I'll get the A-listers. Yeah. I'll get Jennifer Aniston. She'll play that role, do that. And then these far-fetched and crazy ideas, just go, why not?
Yeah.
Who's to say no?
Right.
Or that'll never work.
Well, and again, to add to the Ask Kiss Rodeo, the fact that you have any personal momentum is an achievement.
That's true.
You shouldn't have any.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, what I had ability, and I was realistic about the ability, and then I hitched my team to other people's wagons who had some of that momentum. Speaking of stuff we were talking about, the game show thing, Gio got on the game show thing quickly. We'll dedicate a show to it, but there was a win, lose, or draw I did.
With Burt Reynolds.
No, I did another one. I think I did another one with him. I've done so many game shows.
Celebrity Pictionary.
Gio is finding. Yeah, sorry, Pictionary. Celebrity Pictionary. Yeah, and it was with Alan Thicke.
Ooh.
Was hosting, and
yes, and your team. So this is a celebrity edition. So the contestants were two anchors from just local news stations, and then your team, Adam, was you and Joan Van Ark. And then
temperatures rising, Joan Van Ark.
Okay, I used to sell. Oh, how dare you, Brian? She used to be one of my personal clients at Hugo Boss, because you collect your personal clients. And I would roll out the red carpet every time Joan Van Ark came in to buy sweaters for her husband.
Joan Van Ark was a actress.
Dynasty?
Yeah.
Falcon Crest?
I think she was one of them, but I think she was also... Oh, God, are we thinking of the other blonde that had the same haircut? She did a sitcom from the 70s
one of the ones where I think they came up with the title before the sitcom, which was called Knots Landing in Dallas.
Knots Landing.
Was she Temperatures Rising too, which was a sitcom
72 to 73
from the 70s.
Oh, Temperature Rose.
And it was like a hospital sitcom.
Right.
And Joan Van Ark was in it. So I was reunited with Joan Van Ark.
So I would call her to be like, the Chino pants came in, and her voicemail, which I assume is her husband, it was, like an automatic, you have reached, and then you'd hear a man go, Joan Van Ark. And that was her voicemail.
Is she still married to Marshall, the newscaster?
John Marshall. It says on Wikipedia.
Yes.
Oh, so was he the one that on the other team?
No. So the other team was a newscaster, and then their team was Chris Hardwick and Mario Van Peebles.
Strong.
So my first one, and Brian, you have to watch this, was Below the Belt.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't Below the Belt. It was... You would say it was like...
There's a linking word.
There's a linking word. So first it was black belt.
Okay.
And then the next one would be below the belt or something. That would end in belt, right?
Yeah, so belt was part of it. So
right. In the annals of the Ace Man trying to adhere to something, see if they seem to understand that belt is the operative word that you'll see on the second one. Here, we'll play it for you. Audio's a little rough. I think someone took it off their TV set.
Adam, you're up next. Go Adam.
That's VHS quality.
This is a bad idea.
45 seconds.
Now, can I pass on any of these?
No, you're on your own up here. You can tell us what qualifies you for love line advice?
Nothing really. I had sex with one of the producers.
That'll do it. Nothing on that. 45 seconds.
It's the card up. Blank belt.
Black.
It's black marker.
Black is right.
Black.
No.
No,
Black music. Black line, black road.
Black belt. Black belt is right.
All right, so now belt's the word.
Black music.
Black still.
Belt is the word.
Belt.
That's
No,
crotch.
belt is the word.
Belt. Black belt. Black.
Drawing an arrow below the belt.
Belt down,
Black
belt
leather. Black leather. Black pinstripe. Black.
Stop saying-
hips.
Hold on. Stop saying black.
Yeah, she kept yelling black belt over and over.
We're on belt. It's now belt. We started with black belt, and now the word has to end in belt.
Yeah.
As in below the belt. So I have a belt that's already on there, and it's below the belt.
Yelling the previous answer over and over probably doesn't help the cause.
Or just starting every guess with the word black.
And they know it's belt?
Yes.
Oh,
he
well, then this is
audibly
insane.
said
Yeah,
belt
okay.
is the
Just
word.
making sure.
You gotta. We'll play it again.
You can hear Robin Thicke Alan Thicke say belt is the word.
Belt is the word, and I have a belt
and an
arrow down. So I'm trying to go below the belt, but they keep saying black.
Yeah.
Go Phoenix. Okay.
Black still.
Belt is the word.
Black. That's crotch.
Belt is the word.
Third time.
Black belt. Black.
You already got black.
Still black.
You already got black.
Belt down,
Black
belt
leather.
down.
Black leather. Black pinstripe. Black big hips.
Belt,
Belt
pants. Concept here.
Black.
Back down.
Black
All right,
shoes.
she said black 11 times now.
And they cut to the black guy.
Alan Thicke has said it's not black, it's belt.
3 times he
Said belt.
established.
And
belt is the
also,
word.
it's bordering on racist now because I'm drawing a crotch with an arrow going down. Black cock, black
big
honker,
black
black
throbbing.
hog,
Yeah.
black log,
Right.
black. Stop saying black.
Black Thunder.
Bigger and blacker.
Okay. How does one navigate this world?
I don't know that one does. Did you ever come back?
I
I don't think you did.
Were they audibly ashamed?
Who was the guy? Oh, the news anchor.
Yeah,
Right?
that was the news anchor. Van Ark was on black something.
Yeah, sure was.
God rest his soul, Alan Thicke was saying it's belt.
Right.
It's not
3
black.
times he
It's belt.
established.
And the other guy was toggling in between something new. You got to play back up. She's like, black shoes. Like,
Black hips.
no, stop saying black. We're never going to arrive at this answer.
You got to circle the belt.
But it was, the other guy was sort of on to belt something, but it wasn't.
But she kept pulling him into her orbit.
But if they knew how to play, they would know in this round that this thing is now going
Something
to
going to
end with the
evolve.
word
Yeah.
belt.
Right.
So it's going to be blank belt, which will get you to black belt a lot, or below the belt.
Right.
It'll get you there a lot faster. All right, sorry, just play it.
Black still.
Belt is
Black
the word.
still.
Oh, that's
No,
crotch.
belt is the word.
Belt. Black belt. Black.
You already got black.
Black. I know.
Belt down.
Belt down.
Belt down.
Belt down.
Black leather. Black pinstripe. Black.
No.
Black.
Big hips.
Belt.
Back.
Belt hands. Concept here.
Black.
Down.
Down. Black shoes. Black
Oh my God.
trousers. Black
Belt
slacks.
is the word.
Belt is the word.
Belt south. Bell south. No. Belt.
Belt.
Bell down. Bell.
Bottom. Belt.
This is a great clue. He's giving you below
You were saddled
the
with two of the stupidest archetypes in our society: a news anchor and a soap opera star.
First off, Temperatures Rising is a sitcom. It's
Okay.
a well-received. No, they couldn't play. I don't know what to do.
No.
I just kept pointing an arrow. God, may have. Look, I hate to say it, but this may have killed Alan Thicke. I mean,
Didn't help.
This kind of mental wear and tear and stress when about the sixth time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't belt her.
He
About
only
the
so
sixth
much.
time you say the word is belt, black
Shoes.
flag,
Black hips.
black flag.
Shoes.
Black hips.
She did say.
I know,
hips?
but I'm saying as though that
It's
is
insane.
a thing. As though it's a thing.
I've totally forgotten about all that, but
We are going to have to make the game show episode a drinking show
yes.
because this is tough to watch on its own.
It's just you can imagine what my process. And also, you get caught up in it too, and you're like, they keep yelling black something. I keep pointing
Are
at a
you
bell.
allowed to say it's belt, bitch?
No.
Alan tried.
With my medium to low self-esteem, I start thinking, am I fucking,
got it wrong.
fucking this thing up
Yeah.
somehow?
Yep.
All right. So that was Pictionary, 1997.
Oh, the height of its powers.
I got piano key quickly.
Good for
Is
you.
that the next
It's
clip?
kind of cool. Yeah, it's visual, but you can watch it on YouTube. It's a horrible. She has a horrible job. At least everyone else thought.
Joan Van Ark.
Let's see.
Let's
God
not burn
bless her.
these.
Joan Van Ark.
Key is the linking word.
Key is the word. Okay, key.
She draws a
Is this supposed to be
mushroom.
a dog?
That's supposed to be a stand-in.
It's supposed to be, like a baby grand.
Key cow.
Key cow.
Key cow.
Key top. Oh, piano keys.
That's it. Piano key.
Good for you.
And even Alan was like, "What was that?"
Pretty rough.
It looks like a baby elephant.
The only good part about this whole thing is I feel like, there were a handful of guards at Auschwitz that probably turned a few Jews and went like, I don't know what I'm doing here either.
Look, I want this whole thing to
I'm
end.
sorry. I feel like Regis did that with me. The other
I'm a goddamn cheesemonger. I
Alan
don't want
Thicke
to be
was
here.
looking at me going, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
that
It's a
is
fair
on them."
comparison. Yeah.
I think it's that.
Yeah. Apples to apples.
All right, let's see. Let me hit Simply Safe. That's right. Want to make your home feel safer? No better time than now. Simply Safe is giving my listeners access to their New Year's deal. That's right. It's the new year. 20% off, plus your first month free when you sign up for an interactive monitoring service. This is a great company. The product is strong. Peel and stick up in about half an hour. You can set it up. Nobody rummaging through your home, pulling wires, making a mess. Everything to make your home safe. Indoors and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored by around-the-clock trained professionals. Named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. And you can start feeling safe. Give yourself some peace of mind in the new year. Take 20% off and get your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring. No long-term contracts or commitments. Visit simplysafe.com/Adam today. 2 I's in there. simplysafe.com/Adam today. All right. Take a break. We have a staff poll. And Brian's holiday recap.
And resolutions.
And resolutions all coming up right up.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, did you know that in 1997, your grandpa's masterpiece, The Mole People, premiered on Mystery Science Theater 3000? The old man got a shout-out at the 11-minute, 39-second mark. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Wow. I did not know that. That was in 97?
You didn't know it was on there at all? Because it's like an MST.
I was doing win, lose, or draw, man.
That
Back in
nice
97.
Mexican sauce.
The Mole People. Starring John.
Mount Pinatubo erupted yesterday, spewing movie credits all over the southern hemisphere.
Hey, Ward. And Alfred the Butler.
Doesn't get any better than this, man.
With Rod Redwing.
William Faulkner?
Scott Fitzgerald. Laszlo Gorod. You guys were close.
Oh, they made fun of Grandpa.
At least they got the name right.
That's right. Laszlo Gorod, spelled the same way, front and backward.
That's right. Palindrome.
That's right. All right. Staff poll.
I want to hear this.
Also, Max, Pat, a little legwork for you that I'll pay off later on. But in the first Super Bowl, maybe championship game, maybe it has to go back to champ. I'm trying to think, when did the NFL switch from 2 posts going into the ground, not moving it to the back of the end zone, but from 2 to 1? I think at some point, like in the early Super Bowl days, they had the single post that may have been back like a yard and bent forward.
In the end zone?
Like in the end zone, but leaning forward a little bit. I'm curious. We'll see. We'll see if we can pay this off. I have thoughts. All right. So staff poll. I was talking to Dr. Drew earlier today, and we're talking about all the sort of COVID craziness. Someone had tweeted me a skate park, a skateboard park that had been filled with sand.
Oh, boy.
Because that's the way.
So efficient.
11-year-olds doing, back kicks outdoor. Like 11-year-olds getting exercise outdoors on a skate park. And with nothing more socially distanced than a skate park.
Right.
Everyone's there. But we decided to fill that up with sand. All right. That's a crazy gypsy lady think. Okay. My contention with Drew is that we used to have half the country used to think like chicks and half thought like dudes, and then we pulled about 28% of dudes over to the chick camp. There's a handful of chicks who thinks like dudes too, but then there's a,
it's not a one-to-one.
We live in Los Angeles, California. We have Garcetti and we have Newsom. There's a strong chick think guys. So it's not to do with your genitalia per se. It's a way of thought. So it's like, what got us into this? And my contention is tons of chicks and then a bunch of dudes thinking like chicks. And now we're in full fill in the skate park. And I said, we started talking about the dishwasher. And I said, Drew, what do you do? He said, well, when I'm alone, I just rinse the plate off, wipe it down, I put it in the rack, it dries. I just use the same plate the next day when I'm alone, because his wife would never
would not abide by that.
Never abide. And then I realized I've lived with a few women in my day, and they never would abide by that. And my thing was efficiency. You're standing at the sink, you're running the hot water. Sometimes you got the sponge out, you wiped it down, you're home. Stay with the plate another 4 seconds, put it in the rack. Well, you're loading. There could be nothing worse than for your lower back than loading and unloading a dishwasher. Also, uses a ton of water and power. That's a big draw. And we're there. We're at the sink. We're ostensibly done here. Just put it in the no. And if you get them together, they start talking about, the smell. You can tell, like it smells musty. It smells whatever. I've had these conversations with women. It's got residue. I'm like, just clean it off and then just dry it, and then we could use this. No, it's so gross. Like musty smell and everything, and it's going in the dishwasher. And as I always discussed with Drew, there is no opening for any other thoughts other than their own. They know what they know when it comes to the dishwasher. By the way, it goes ad hominem real fast. I'm gross. You're gross. They're gross. I'm not gross. This is gross. You're weird. I'm right.
No ever like, all right, keep talking. Let me hear your pitch.
Agree to disagree.
No, you're weird, you're gross, shut up, put the fucking bulldoze the fucking skate parks, fill them with sand, get off the fucking beach and the horse trail. I know what I'm talking about. And then you go, but what are we basing any of this on? It's like, because I know.
Right.
And you're gross. So, as I said to Drew, I said, to me, I'm into efficiency. So I'm at the sink and I'm rinsing and I'm scraping and we're almost home. Why am I going to take this loaded up, run the cycle? Also, a lot of, is this dishwasher, are these clean or dirty? Well, if you can't tell, then you're making my argument.
Right.
Because you've done such a good job cleaning them off before you loaded it. But I said, this is basically like you saying, I'm going to take my car out the driveway and get the hose and the suds. I'm going to spray it down, start wiping it down. But about halfway through, I'm going to take it to the car wash. And I'm like going, the hose is out. We're here. Just wash it off here. No, that's gross. That's weird. That's dangerous. Yeah, I can tell the car smells musty. I can smell the hood. So it's all mildewy.
Sure.
One more in the column of efficiency. If you stack that thing like vertically in the rack or maybe on a drying mat, no need to dry. Just let it drip.
That's what I do.
It's gross. It's musty.
Well, you've already washed it.
I can tell.
Drip
I can tell. So, by the way, they can't tell. I'd like to do the vodka test with the vodka snobs and the dish test with the dishwasher snobs. But then I said, well, let's get a poll around here. Like who I've never met a woman that wasn't married to that dishwasher, and all the guys I've ever known have been rinse it and whatever. And I said it back in the room, and Gary's like, I don't want to get into this. It's scary.
It's a live wire.
I tried. It's not going to work. But I'm curious, is it possible that somebody here lives with a woman who's less into the dishwasher than they are? And I said to Chris, it will be Brian.
It will be me. Yeah. There is a right way and a wrong way to load the dishwasher. Now, I'm with you. Whether if it's just me, if I'm home for the weekend, or if it's just me having a snack, just give it a rinse, give it a wipe, and put it right on the drying rack, and don't worry about it. But if it's the family or whatever, then that shit goes in the dishwasher.
But is Christy less into it?
Yes.
Than you?
Yeah.
That is so weird because I said Brian is going to be the only person that does it.
Yeah. Maybe I did. I lived 8 years with my roommate before I met Christy without a dishwasher. Every single thing by hand, no matter how gross or how dirty. So maybe it's the allure of the dishwasher coming into my life late, or maybe it's the fact that Christy doesn't care as much. So my natural state is to rise and feel that like Bondo.
Maybe it's that Christy has a little more dude in her.
That's possible.
And Brian,
is that
a little less?
Why are you whispering? That's 100% true. Why on earth do you give your voice down?
Well, that's an interest. So it is. So women are in charge of the dishwasher, but occasionally there's a little. The universe gets a little imbalanced.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Maybe that.
And we don't have a dishwasher either because we're in like 100-year-old house, but. They asked us if we wanted one, if they wanted to install them. Both Andy and I said no. We're good
that's
how we
balanced.
are. Yeah, we're
balanced.
balanced.
What's our staff poll? What do we got here, Chris?
All right, so everybody. So Kaylin and Amy. Kaylin was a rinse and rack guy, but then Amy's 100% dishwasher. Doesn't even have a dish rack. Let's see, Ryan and
dishwashing machine or something.
Yeah, dishwashing machine. Yeah, you're right. Ryan and his girlfriend Jessica. Ryan used to be a rinse and rack guy, but now they use the machine. They don't have a room for a rack where they live.
Rack's pretty weak.
The rack's weak?
No, I use the drying mat. Like that.
Oh,
thing
the drying mat
with the netting.
We have both.
Have you seen those things?
Probably.
It looks like one of the things you stand on at the bathroom sink.
Oh,
it's like cushioned. But
well, you can't. But like you said, you can't put your plates on that.
Yeah, you stack them up vertically against the wall.
That's insane. Rack's better.
I went out, got myself a nice rack.
Me too.
That has a little. Yeah, God sold you that nice rack when you're 15.
That's right.
It's got a little trough where the stuff drains into the sink.
Me too.
Nice.
It has a little aqueduct, and you just, I have the same thing.
Put it right by the sink. And just
that's what I do.
All right, continue with the poll.
Emmy used to be a rinse and rack guy when he was in New York.
Well, no room for a dishwasher.
Now he and his wife Paola use the machine. Let's see.
But is it her influence? That's what I think.
Or is it Olga's influence?
I feel like, women set the tone at the house by and large, and I've never met any woman that's not full dishwasher. When I built my first house, or remodeled my first house, but it was a serious remodel. Like, I always remember Jimmy came by for lunch, and he walked in the middle of this huge remod, and he went full Mike August on me. He just went, "Why don't you tear the whole thing down?" And I was like, "Because I'm remodeling." He's like, "That seems like more work than just."
So he has a history of this.
So bad. Well, that's Jimmy.
Oh,
he went Mike August on me with the tear it down.
I see.
But they said, you got to put a dishwasher in. I was like, I don't need a dishwasher. I don't want it. They're like, for resale. You have to have it for resale.
Somebody else is going to want one.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Paola did convince Emmy to convert to the machine, but Olga does not use the machine. She prefers to do.
Interesting.
She's
rinse and wrap.
Crazy pragmatic. She hangs out every chicken bone. She picks every morsel of fat and gristle and cartilage off it and puts it in a separate little container. That's for
soup.
Phil's going to have
stock.
No, it's how that
No,
Phil,
I mean from the bones.
Right, from the bones. Like Phil will get his medicine when we put it in. We'll get the stock. It is. It's a kind of a pioneer spirit or something, or waste not, want not. But it totally makes sense to me. And a no qualms about getting your hands dirty approach to life. All right, do we
Dawson
have more?
Uses the machine. He lets them pile up so much that when he does them, he just got to do 2 loads.
He got to do 2 loads?
That's what it says.
Gots to.
Let's see.
He gots.
I got to know.
Yeah, that's from Magnum Force. Yeah, Dirty Harry. You may be asking yourself, punk, and all the confusion. Did I fire 5 shots or 6 shots? Well, considering this is a .357 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, you got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do you? And he gave himself up. But when they're walking the black guy, we got to find that whole scene just to show you how Hollywood has taken a little bit of a turn.
Sure.
It's like playing blackjack. She'll be the next card. I got to see it. Or poker or whatever it is. You gotta see the next card.
He got
He
to
had
know.
to know.
So I'm sorry.
Matt and Julie.
Dawson uses the dishwasher. I would not.
I put uses in air quotes. I just don't like doing dishes, so they just pile up in the sink, and then it's just more efficient by the time I actually get around to the dishes. Just put them all in a machine. But yeah, usually it's really overstacked, or I got to do a couple.
Feels, I think of you as the prefab burrito man, the guy who make up 6-8 burritos at once and keep them stocked away. I feel like you're the guy who cleans the dish as you use the dish.
Yeah, I'm not. I really got to reinvest in paper plates. That's the way to go.
Chinette.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like, see, the thing about the sink is it will get grody if not tended to.
Absolutely.
And if you just do it a dish at a time and hit the rack with it, you'll never get to the grody part of life.
It's funny you should say that because especially with a kid in the house, like I do dishes, and Andy and I both do dishes, and I find it therapeutic. I like to stand at the window, do the dishes, listen to a podcast, listen to music. And with the back, I'm the same way. I don't want to deal with a dishwasher. But every time I do the dishes, we announce it to each other so we kind of get extra credit. Like, oh, dishes are done. I always say, dishes are done and sink is sanitized because you got to hit it with the Clorox and rub it out every time.
All right. Sorry. Rest of the poll, did we get to everyone?
So Matt and Julie, they occasionally use the dishwashing machine, but rinse and rack for the most part.
Oh, interesting.
No kids.
And then Gary, when he was single, he had the rack, but his wife convinced him to move to the machine. Same with me. This is my first dishwasher that I've ever had that works. So.
It's alluring.
Yeah, it's
the siren song.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm in the honeymoon phase right now with my dishwashing machine. And then that's everybody.
I'll let Phil clean the plate.
That's the best.
That's a bridge too far.
Phil cleans it.
I would not want my dog licking my plate.
You gotta do it afterwards.
I would have to throw the plate away.
All the gunk off.
I don't care.
Every morsel, everything bigger than 1 micron, is gone off that plate. Like if you looked at that plate and looked at one that came from the dishwasher, you visibly couldn't see the difference. Then I take that plate in and I rinse it.
Oh my God. That's when I would have to do like 3 cycles on the dishwasher. I had a dog. I would never fucking let that dog eat off my plate.
Every day.
Okay, you guys are fucking
I'm in between you guys because the most efficient is like have the dog finish the scraps.
But it's not efficient because now you have dog germs all over your plate.
Then that's why I'm closer to you. You got to do a little wash after that.
A little wash? You got to burn the plate.
I do not get the soap out. I give it a hot rinse.
That's not the brag you think it is.
No.
You know you're part dog now.
I'm too lazy to get the soap out. And it's always over soap to me. I can taste the soap. I just go the hot water.
Concentrated.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
Sorry, I'm getting thick throat. Just so we're clear, you eat something that's like liquidy in some way. You put it on the floor.
Make it lasagna.
Let's make it lasagna. Let's do the lasagna test on this.
Mm-hmm.
You put the not eaten lasagna on the floor. Phil eats the big bits and then licks the platter clean.
It is visibly looks no different than any other plate that's in the cupboard.
Got it.
He's done with it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pick up the plate with your bare hand.
Mm-hmm.
Rinse it in, I don't know, tepid water. Do a little shake and put it back on the...
Warmish.
Warmish.
And I might wipe it down with a paper towel or something because I'm using it again.
And
that's why
paper towel, though.
Oh, I always reuse the paper towels.
I'm bringing my own Tupperware to your house if I ever come home.
I heard it. Is that all? Did we get our staff in?
That's everyone, yeah.
I was listening to an interesting, an author who wrote a book on polio. And the polio author was very interesting to get into polio and how it worked. A few things. Said that some people lived, and you'd have to be in an iron lung.
Yes, absolutely.
And that people live 30 to 40 years in an iron lung.
That's right.
It was rare, but you could live 30 or 40 years in an iron lung, which is insane.
I've always heard iron lung is like a punchline, but
You literally just like your head hangs out of a giant cigar tube.
Wow.
And you stare at a mirror.
Oh my God.
And there's no modernization version of it because polio's gone essentially, so they didn't build one. They have trouble finding parts for the old ones.
Oh my God.
And that polio, and I'll paraphrase a little bit, was essentially our disease in the United States. It didn't affect the other parts of the world.
We didn't have travel
Africa
like we do
and
now.
stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, so there's a polio theory, which will get me to fill in my dish, which is
I can't wait.
It also affected more predominantly affluent people. Now you may know where this is going. The kids who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in the filth and the dirt and everything,
exposed.
They had a much more robust immune system because they grew up around it. The rich kids grew up in a much more sanitized environment, especially back then. I mean, people were living in slums, you know. And so the kids, it's in theory, and it's also theory about why like Africa didn't get hit with polio like we got hit with polio. That the places that
developing nations,
the places that had the Purell and the Lysol and the wiping, they didn't have Purell back then, but all the sanitization, the wiping stuff down, and the clean, tidy, orderly, whatever. Those kids had weaker immune systems, and thus polio affected them in much greater numbers, and that's why I let Phil eat off my plate.
You'll never get polio.
Interesting, right? I think some of that, but I've always been talking about that as it pertains to peanut allergies and everything else. Yes.
Think how the scale slid from then till now. The kids back then who were the most susceptible, like the cleanest, probably would be today amongst the healthiest because they would be by today's standards. You know what I mean? Playing in the dirt and whatever outside, unsanitary conditions, no Purell, et cetera, and the kids who are the Lord Fauntleroys of the world are so far off the scale of what would have been back then.
Yeah. So it was interesting, and I've said it. I was like, no one I went to junior high with had a peanut allergy. Why does every third kid have a peanut allergy? We've told all the data and stuff like that. But the point is you got to activate your immune system. And I talked to Drew about this. There's a window it closes pretty quick of being born, where you got to get all that stuff in early. Otherwise, so all the moms slathering the Purell and keeping everything, they don't let people hold their baby, or they keep them away, or they cover everything. Big picture, not doing your kid any favors.
That makes perfect sense, but I've never had a newborn. So let me see if you have the answer to this. Why is it that it's common knowledge, like you said, you can't come see the baby yet or you have to wear a mask? Why? Because it has no immune system. Like, you're a crazy person for asking. So which is it?
Ask Olga.
We do the opposite of everything that makes sense. We fill in the skate parks when kids need exercise and vitamin D and sunshine, and we don't expose our newborns to the world when they need it the most. Then we do the opposite.
Right. Okay.
All right, Brian, you got your holiday recap?
Yeah.
Which we haven't talked about yet.
You guys got the pictures and the video and everything? Don't need it quite yet, but just have it ready. Tessa is in the sweet spot for Christmas. How old is the little one?
6.
So Tessa's 5. So you know how it is.
Yeah,
You were there last year. The 5 years old is the sweet spot. She wanted, she got a bike. She got all the Inside Out, the Pixar movie, all the stuffies, all the emotions and everything. She can play with them, leaving notes for Santa, mailing letters to Santa, leaving out carrots and celery for the reindeer, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. So Christmas is awesome, blah, blah, blah. Then we did the annual trip to the ranch in Solvang.
What's it, Alisal?
The Alisal Ranch. It's a working cattle ranch. It's a full-on, huge, gigantic cattle ranch that has like a little resort element to it that people go and do horseback riding and archery and all the lake activities, et cetera, et cetera. Tessa last year we skipped last year. They were closed for COVID. So the year before, she wanted to do horseback riding, but she was 3 years old. And so they only do the lead around, right? Put the kid on and the guide.
Walk it around
It's pretty tame. This year, she did the horse riding by herself. No hands on that horse except for her. Put the
Gone with the wind.
I know.
Look at that.
If the other picture zooms in a little more, maybe you can see that just the determined look on her face. Like,
and no screaming and crying.
No. She was really into it.
That's awesome.
Like, she was, look at that. Turning the horse, pulling the lead. I don't ride a horse, so I don't know. But yeah, she was all about it. It rained a ton. And for the first time, there's a creek that runs through the thing. Never seen a drop of water in there. It was a raging river. Put the other picture up. Christy's dad's a world-class photographer. The guy's great. He took this picture of Tessa and Grandma on the bridge looking at this raging
He's a world-class tool shop owner.
That's true, actually.
And he does some photography. But I know him as a tool man.
Palm Nailer Don.
Palm Nailer. Visited his shop and
you should go back sometime. You should bring a slide headshot.
89. I remember exactly I remember the exact job I was working on when I went to his shop.
I wish I could tell you were the biggest celebrity, but you know who goes there often, regularly? Harrison Ford.
What?
Yeah, all the time.
That hack.
You got.
A fucking palm nailer from an impact driver.
I remember he was a carpenter on the set before he got discovered.
Yeah, I'd like to interview him.
Like you.
Do to him what I did to Ty Pennington. Go ahead.
And so, okay, now get the video ready. I'm going to set it up here. Remember yesterday we watched, Remember yesterday we watched the video of the teacher sinking the full court shot, and he made the observation that the kids make it because the kids can't fake it. If it's try number 25, they're not going to fake it. The kid, get the reaction of the kid. Tessa, there's a little jungle gym in this place, little sand jungle gym, and Tessa was doing the monkey bars for the first time, as far as I could tell, at least this many, and she kept getting it. There's 9 total. And she kept getting up to 6 and then falling. Trying again, get up to 6 and fall. And she goes, Daddy, I'm going to do all 9. I'm like, I don't know. Tessa's pretty hard. And I started
discouraging her.
No, I was pumping her up. I'm like, I think only big girls can do that. She goes, I can do it. And so she gets up there, and I start the video because I could tell like her momentum was going. And I've watched this video now probably 10 or 12 times. It makes me so happy. And the bouncing you'll see at the end for those watching the video is us jumping up and down like we won the World Cup. But let's just play the video. That's number 3. That's number 4.
It's American Gladiator shit.
Again, though, can you? 6 again.
Beastmaster.
No, you can't get to 7. No, not 8. Not 8. No.
Here she goes.
No. There's one more. Oh my God! You did it! You did all of them. You're amazing. Oh my God. How many did you do? 9?
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. High five. Wait, high five. Oh my gosh, she was so impressed with herself. So happy.
As she should be.
What happened with parents? where was any of our parents? I don't get. You have kids. You do shit with them.
No
it's like it's fun.
You had to run home to tell them you had done 9
You get like
months.
a high five.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, don't sit. That's my ottoman. What are you doing?
You're all dirty from the park.
Well, yeah, but what are you doing next to it? Come on, get out of here. Like, what? And it's so easy when you have kids. You want to do stuff. You want to joke around. Yep. You want to do all
celebrate these little, to you a little
celebrate.
Things. Them the biggest thing in the world.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So the holiday was great. The highlights were Tessa horse riding solo and the Jungle Gym monkey bars. And I'm glad to say she has a lot of Christy in her.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, she ain't going to be down with that dishwasher.
Fuck no.
All right, let's see.
We have resolutions.
We have resolutions. All right. We'll keep that. We'll roll that into the beginning of the next segment, I think. I'll do LifeLock. Scareware is a scam or pop-up ads scare users into thinking their computer has a security problem. And the fix is to buy their software. Then they access and steal your info. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Every day, we put our info at risk on the internet. In an instant, cyber criminals could harm your finances and your credit. Good thing there's LifeLock. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your information has potentially been compromised, they'll send you an alert. It's LifeLock, right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code ADAM. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to lifelock.com. Use promo code ADAM for 25% off.
All right, quick break. We'll come back with New Year's resolutions and Rotten Tomatoes and a follow-up on the goalpost history right after this.
For Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
I know what you're thinking. Did you fire 6 shots or only 5?
If you said Dirty Harry.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
So I had this thought that was based on, I'm always curious about how a technology moves forward and one seems to be behind, like how we're living in 2 separate times. Like, I feel that way about, you see all the homeless and the trash and the tents and everyone's out on the sidewalk, but the cars driving past them are Teslas that are self-driving Teslas with scissor wing doors and stuff. And you're like, how do we have this much and that? You know what I mean? That shit is, dark ages shit. And this stuff is the Jetsons, and they're driving past each other and they're 3 feet away from one another. The average Los Angelino who is homeless in Los Angeles has over under 141 Teslas pass them on a daily basis while they sleep in a refrigerator box in their own filth, right? So I've always felt that way about the goalpost in football. I could never figure out why there were 2 posts going down to the ground. Now, they used to have them right on the goal line, and people would run into them.
Right.
Which seemed dangerous.
Indeed.
Could you picture, Aaron Rodgers hitting one of his speedy wideouts in a concrete encrusted, like a post that was sunk in concrete being in the middle of the end zone?
It's an indicator of a game that, the style of play that's past us, the running game, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You couldn't run, a 40-yard bomb with that. The guy kill himself.
I would always think about that, or people would hit him and get hurt sometimes. Yeah. I always would think about the ball turret in the belly of the B-24 Super Liberator. Anyway, that's a loose side. It's got 50 millimeter machine guns. It's turning. That's World War II. Then 25 years later, we still have the 2 posts going down at the thing. But I was watching Super Dave Osborne's bio.
I got to see that.
It's very good. Jimmy's in it, and he tells a story that I forgot about completely. And we did a bit with Super Dave. And I hung out with Super Dave a lot. We used to hang out at Kimmel's. I went to his wake, and it was very interesting. But I forgot what a kind of crazy guy he was. He was a very entertaining guy, a good actor, a funny actor.
He deadpanned well.
Yes.
But he would be very serious about stuff. Like his dad was a famous radio guy, and his dad died basically on stage in Beverly Hills at a Lucy Arnaz, Lucy Desi roast, I think.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, his dad did a Greek character. There were the Einsteins.
Right.
There was Albert Einstein, Albert Brooks, and Super Dave was Bob Einstein, and Cliff Einstein runs Daly and Associates, a big ad agency. Are all wildly successful in these kind of little different endeavors. But his dad, who was an Einstein, did a Greek character called Park Your Carcass. And it was a kind of they always do like a who's on first thing, like, nice to meet you, park your carcass. Well, I'd prefer to stand. I don't know how much mileage you could get from park your carcass, but that was it.
That's the joke.
He was a comedian and a radio show guy, and he just died on stage.
Jesus.
And so I said to him when we were getting drunk with me and him and Jimmy did
the Century Club thing, the man show bit.
We did 100. Well, we did it on stage. Oh, the Century Club, yes.
Yeah.
We did it. It's 100 shots. 100 shots of beer. And it's called the Century Club. Right? But we called it 100 shots.
Okay.
And that's what that was known as. And we're doing this bit, and he told me his dad died on stage. And I said, well, he died doing what he loved. And he's like, what's your dad like doing? And I was like, I don't know. He likes playing the trumpet. Okay, what if he died playing the trumpet? Then would that be okay?
Damn.
Then, what if he choked on a trumpet? I hope your dad chokes on a trumpet. That's just who he was.
Wow, I didn't expect it to go that way.
Oh yeah.
You weren't even like making fun of him or anything.
Probably not. I'd have to watch. I remember.
But that's not like a biting thing to say that someone died doing what they love.
I guess not. I got drunk.
That was also kind of the bit. Like I've seen that more than once. Like he was suffering these two fools. You know what I mean? Like these two wise asses.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember at some point I had him convinced that my dad died in Vietnam, and we can we'll dig that bit up for another show. But he was funny, interesting guy.
I think you tried to convince him you were in Vietnam.
Oh, maybe I convinced him I was in Vietnam.
And he was like, "How old are you?"
Yeah. So anyway, it's a fun doc. I think it's called Super Bob Einstein. I think that's the name of the doc. Anyway, very watchable. What's the goalpost history, Chris?
All right. So from when the NFL started in 1920, they were shaped as an H in the front of the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
Then they moved it to the back 7 years later, just for a few years because that's what college did. And they were like, oh, we should do what college is doing. Then like, wait, we're our own league. Let's put it back up. So they put it back on the goal line.
Wow, we moved it
defiant.
Yeah,
from the back of the end zone.
Yeah, moved it back up in 33.
No one tells us what to do with the goalposts.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, they wanted to increase field goal attempts, so they moved it back
Nothing
up.
more exciting.
Right.
And it stayed there. It stayed there in the H pattern till 67 on the goal line. And with the goalpost there, people would use it to screen defenders on pass patterns. It brought both excitement and danger.
67 was the jet age. We had jet fighters fighting MiGs at supersonic speeds in the 60s. Yeah. We still had two posts.
Yeah.
An H. We couldn't even do the one.
So
the reason Bob Einstein reminded me of this. The Super Dave doc reminded me of this, and they were showing pictures of him, black and white pictures of him playing. He was a very good high school and college basketball player. He was a tall guy.
Right.
And they were showing these pictures from back in the day, these grainy black and white pictures of him playing in high school with the clear backboard.
Yep.
And I'm always amazed that we, even at the high school level, we had the big clear glass backboards, but at the same time, we had 2 steel posts going into the ground at the thing. It just felt like we have some technology here. Sorry, go ahead, Max Patton.
And also receivers would grab a hold of the post, spin around, and go the other direction really quickly. If a pass hit the metal uprights, it would be ruled incomplete. So this famously applied in Super Bowl VII, fourth quarter. Washington quarterback Billy Kilmer missed a wide-open Jerry Smith in the end zone and bounced the ball off the post.
This is. Oh wait, did you say that was a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Super
Super Bowl
VII.
VII.
Oh, Super Bowl VII. Yeah, but that wasn't the H anymore. Was that the single?
No, that was the H. Yeah.
Well, you said it went to 66.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Super Bowl?
Probably. Well, it might have been the 67.
It might have been. Oh, so
from the
sorry.
previous year.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that the rules are when it was on the goalpost, it was ruled incomplete. So what happened after 67? A retired newspaper distributor and hobbyist inventor was eating lunch, was looking at a fork, and imagine the fork with the 2 middle prongs gone. And he's like, why can't goalposts be like this? He published it in a magazine, and ended up having a meeting with the NFL commissioner.
Wow.
Soon after that, they changed it to the slingshot look, but it was still on the goalpost for a few more years.
On the goal
line.
Goal line.
Sorry, the goal line for a few more years, and then they moved it back in '74.
Yeah, my thing was like, we don't have the technology after the B-24 Super Fortress and the jets and the MiGs and everything to do one post and then weld another post on top without it falling over. Took some guy staring at a spork to figure this out. Like, nobody went, look, I'm going to reduce this either 50% or 100%. I can't remember how the math works, but I will get rid of one of these posts.
Isn't it the same as like we've talked about many times with, the suits at, a network being like, well, I mean, it ain't broken. I don't want to be the one the squeaky wheel.
A lot of it is that's how it is.
Right.
And you go, why do we need parsley by the side of the plate? And they go, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Right.
But it always struck me when I saw the Super Bob Einstein movie on HBO is what it is. Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, all right, New Year's resolutions. Who wants to go first?
Gina, you should go first.
Sure, okay. So Brian and I have been living a little bit simpatico, I think, over the break. I have been on a decluttering tear. Bags of donations. I am the toast of the Buy Nothing Facebook club, giving stuff away. And I just ordered a giant storage ottoman for all the linens and throw blankets and all that shit. So I'm not known for this, but I'm really trying, and I've been really trying, and I've really had this sort of wild hair. So I would really like to make my house, even with a kid in there and crazy lives, I would like to make my house something that looks like you could just walk in and it's ready. And I've not ever been that person. You hide the bodies, you throw everything in the closet. I don't want to be that person anymore. So I'm really working on that. I want to work on that. I'd like to go on a real honeymoon. I've been trying to be like, we'll go on little weekend trips, but my dad got it in my head at a young age. I don't do supposed tos. It's like, Dad, why don't you wear a wedding ring? I don't do it. Nobody can tell me to wear it. So he was very he was very maternal, but he also had this side that there was no convincing him. So I kind of grew up that way. Like, well, I don't do that. That's what normal people do. I don't have a wedding. And ironically, when he died, I was like, I want a wedding. I want a real wedding. I'm allowed to want that. So I think I want to go on a honeymoon and see a part of the world with my husband, because that's what normal people do, and I'm allowed to do that. I get to do normal things, which I'm at this age finally convincing myself. So that's something that seems normal to most people, but seems kind of wild to me.
Yeah, it's interesting when you grow up outside of normal people's stuff. It takes you a long time to graduate into normal people stuff. I've had that with credit cards and luggage and stuff like that. Who has luggage?
Right.
Who has matching luggage?
Yeah.
Who has credit cards? Who has everything? I would watch The Love Boat and go, who has a tuxedo? Who has luggage? Who has credit cards? Who has any of these things? Who has a drink? Like, I like mine, shaken, not stirred. Like
iron in the room for what?
Right. It all seems so weird because you randomly were born to a family but here's the problem. I think here's the interesting part. It's one thing, and I'm not saying your dad did this, but other people did. I think my family did this, which is, it's one thing not to have luggage or credit cards or suits or things, and just go, hey man, we're losers. Like, we're fucking losers. Your dad's a loser, mom's a loser. Together, we're like a super loser. It's like
found each other.
Yeah.
It's like three losers.
Yeah, proud.
There's just two of us, but it's like when we came together. It was we took our loser rings and we did them like
Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twins united into a bigger loser, size of a loser. All right, it's one thing to just do that. It's another
losers assemble.
But then there's the other direction, which is, well, we don't want to live in our loserdom, so we'll just say that those other people who have this stuff are losers, or that's daddy's money, or they stole it, or it's ill-gotten gain, or they raped the land. That's why they have Samsonite.
Or what Gina's dad did do, which is reverse engineer your life so that you don't need those things.
Right.
Make it like that. I don't do that.
Well, a big example of that is he was an avid runner. I mean, crazy jogger. And we'd say, well, Dad, why don't you ever do a marathon? Now, I don't do supposed to's. What, I'm supposed to run with everybody else? I run for myself.
Yeah, my family was that way. Pots with handles.
So, yes.
Yeah, so then you start thinking, okay, well, maybe this is a way of life then, this thing where you don't do this and you won't do that.
Right.
You don't have this and you don't have that. Like, it's not, if they could give it some context, which is, I'm a weirdo or a loser, or I'm set in my ways or whatever. This is no way indicative of how to live a good life. Please feel free to live the opposite of the life I'm leading, but they get you sucked in. It's like a cult.
Boy, do they. So I'd like to do another big normal thing, which is go on a honeymoon. And finally, I am not unaware of the weight I have put back on after the wedding, and I loved every fucking Cheeto. I loved every bite of pizza. I loved it. My husband and I just kind of fell off the wagon, and we had a fucking blast. So I'm going to get that.
He's up to 141 pounds.
That's right. I'm going to get that back together. But specifically, Santa got us Laker tickets. And so we went to the game last night with the Timberwolves, had a blast. I think we have a picture. The boys, because Andy's from Minnesota and the Lakers used to be in Minnesota.
Right down on the floor.
Well, look, those tickets up there were over $100 a piece.
What the F?
A piece.
Wow.
So we are up high. And if anyone would like us to sit lower, please contact me because we can't afford it. But the boys are each wearing a Timberwolves jersey and a Lakers underneath each other. So they, whoever, at quarter, they flip one off and then put one back on. But we had a blast. But every time I would cheer when LeBron did something spectacular, I noticed the bingo wings are literally in,
Explain what bingo wings are.
Yes.
They're countering.
Pendulous.
Yes, they're counter-pendulous.
That's the underarm.
It's very shtetl people that come from shtetl stock, like I do, the Russian Jews. We have a lot of it, the extra fatty part between the elbow and the armpit, and it has gotten really out of control. I don't know how to do push-ups, unless you're on your knees doing them. I think this is going to sound stupid to you guys. I want to be able to do 20 push-ups, regular push-ups. So I'm going to start practicing. I know you can do them against the wall to practice. I'm going to start practicing on my knees and then I just want one clean one, regular, then two clean ones, and I'm really going to try.
Good.
Yeah.
I love. I know. I mean, we probably talk about it every year. I like it when people have New Year's resolutions. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. And like I said, my buddy Kevin Hench, he was like, I want to be able to bench twice my weight by the end of the year, which is super ambitious, but he's super fit. And I just love when people make those proclamations. If they don't come true, they don't come true. I still like them.
But I don't think, and I'd like to be able to do it. I think it's probably attainable. But if I end up going, oh, shit, I can only do 18,
That's a huge improvement.
I can't do one.
Right.
So that's me.
Brian?
Nice. I have one big resolution this year. I've been thinking about it for a long time, like how it's going to work, the machinations of it. And much like Gina, like you alluded to, January 1st was cleaning day in the Bishop household. Lots of shirts and clothes going out, lots of toys going out to the Goodwill or Baby to Baby or whatever charity you support. And I came across a cachet of shirts from Laughs for Bald Bryan, 2009. Truthful Laughs for Bald Bryan. I kept a few left over just for memento's sake. I do that for, Adam Carolla show merch that comes out that's like, early run or socks or whatever. And I'm like, I'm looking at these things at the date, November 20th. I think I tweeted if you want to find that. November 20th, 2009. I was like, wow, what an incredible night. Changed my life, our lives. And it was such a crazy moment where people came together, for me. And I've been so lucky, with people in the community, supporting us and really coming out and showing like the love and the charity. So what I really want to do, for every day in 2022, I'm going to make a small donation to a different charity. And I'm going to highlight it on my social media so that people can sort of see, they can follow along, maybe retweet, maybe join in, maybe donate if it's a charity that's close to your heart. If you have listeners, if you have suggestions, you work with the charity, a charity who's been important in your life, let me know. This is going to be hard because I'm already at January 3rd and I'm like scraping for like, shit, where do I go next? So I need listeners to like send me their favorite charity. It has to be a 501c3. I can't donate
Not
to
the Human Fund.
I can't
on
donate
Seinfeld.
to your band's GoFundMe or something. It's got to be a real charity.
I love it.
I've already done the Austin Eckler Fund, the running back from the Chargers, and I've already done Fitzsimmons retweeted a buddy of his who was raising money for St. Jude's, so I donated to that. So I'm on day 3, and if you wouldn't mind, Gina, can you suggest a charity I can donate to on day 3?
I'm honored. I am specifically, and I think this will be close to your heart. I am very into the care of senior animals.
I can't do that.
Senior dogs, cats, nobody wants because they're old. I love those charities. I know Best Friends LA does it. I would like to find one that specifically works with senior animals. There's one that I love because of the name. It's here in California in Acton. It's called Grand Paws Senior Sanctuary.
Like
so maybe that would be a good one.
I will do that today. It'll be on my social media. Hopefully every day, every single day this year, I'll donate a small amount. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but I'll raise awareness and use my admittedly limited platform for good this year.
It'd be a sweet tax write-off.
That is nice.
I'll still tweet about Transformers and movies and shit, but follow me on Instagram and Bald Bryan, and I'll tweet about it.
That was we have to relive that conversation with James Baby Doll Dixon.
Do we?
When it was the Will Sherry Bell, right?
Yep. Will Sherry Bell Theater.
Probably held 1,100 people. I don't know.
We can look it up, but it was
too many.
It was at least 1,200.
Oh, it was at least 1,200. It's over 1,000 people.
Yes.
And the tickets were not cheap.
No,
we're trying to raise money.
It was the 150 or 300 if you wanted like the meet and greet afterwards.
Yeah, because Randy got tickets for us when he had nothing, and it was over $600.
And please thank him for me.
I will.
And keep in mind, this is November 2009. People have lost their jobs.
Right.
You know,
we all just lost our jobs.
This is a really bad time for the economy.
I know. And Baby Doll was like, that theater's it's 1,200 seats, and I'm like, yeah. The tickets are $150 to $300. I'm like, yeah. I said, who's going? And I said,
who's going to perform? Who's going to headline?
I said, well, I'm going to perform, and Jimmy's going to perform, and we got bands that are going to perform, and we're going to get. And he's like, he goes, I'm not going to let Jimmy go there and be embarrassed.
To a half-filled house.
God,
I said,
it's for a charity.
I said, what do you mean embarrassed? And he said, I said, go walk out in front of an empty house. It's embarrassing. I said, well, how do we know that people aren't going to? Why would they buy tickets? I go, because I'm.
It's really more of a referendum on me.
I'm performing there, and I'm telling my fans to show up and support Brian, but they're not going to go out in front of an empty room. It's going to be empty in there. I was like, that was the greatest window.
Yeah. It really was.
It was the greatest window, and you can really tell what people think by the questions they ask.
Yeah.
It's not really, wasn't so much about, he wasn't about like money or
ticket sales or anything. He was confused.
Where are these people coming from?
Who are them?
Where are
they?
manifesting them from?
And he was concerned that another one of his clients would be embarrassed by walking out in front of an empty
He was
arena.
going to let you walk out. He wasn't going to let Jimmy do it.
Well, I made, if you want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, that's on you, but I'm not going to let you put Jimmy on the back of that bike. That's basically what he was saying. Like, why should Jimmy be humiliated? You don't care. Jimmy's got a career.
Sold the whole damn thing out.
Sold it out. 1,270 seats.
Wow.
Jesus.
Well done.
I'll never, ever take for granted the amazing loyalty of our listeners and how they came together to support.
And you did it again.
I know, and we did it again. Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Quick question for Brian. Sorry. I know that last year you were working on the doc.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
Yeah, actually. So we have it's all business at this point, getting funding and such. But we have
documentary, not like that Journey song.
No. A documentary about young adult cancer, and we have a 2-minute sizzle that's like almost like done proof of concept type thing. That's pretty much done. We just have to send it off to our fundraiser.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll get some money in, and we're gonna make this thing happen.
As a guy who makes docs, I just have one question. What does that have to do with cars?
Oh, we're gonna have to really stretch to squeeze in the car. I want to get it on chassis.
You have to drive to chemo treatment.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Mine is pretty simple, which is I'm just going to. Well, Gina started it off with, which is taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If I throw my back out, I'm going to go to a chiropractor. I'm not going to go, it's good. We'll just suck it up. Like
You're not going to just say, hey, Drew, check this out.
Yes, I will go. Like it'll happen all the time. Or like my back is jacked up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Olga will come in and she'll go, do you want me to get you a heating pad? And I go, no. Just like reflectively, like, don't do it. And I'm like, this year I'm going to be like, yes,
good.
I could use a heating pad.
Self-care.
As I say to myself often in these situations, fuck am I trying to prove?
Yeah. To
who am I trying to prove?
Well, my problem is just the default setting.
Right.
Like would you like some? No, that'd be good. We're good here. Just keep moving.
Say yes.
I will say yes.
Nice.
All right. There is. We'll do our Rotten Tomatoes tomorrow. Concrete myth: creatine is just for bodybuilders. Fact: creatine is for any fitness routine. Concrete #1 stimulant-free pre-workout supplement. I have mine here. It is empty because I emptied it at my home and brought the container in because I use it. Dr. Drew is all about the creatine as well. And like I said, he's a bit of a snob at that stuff. Your brain uses 20% of the creatine in your body. Concrete fuels your body and your mind. And give it to loved ones. Give it to yourself. It's better focus, better health, better immunity. This throughout the new year. Concrete is perfect. And Dawson's going to tell you how to get it. Right, Dawson?
Take control of your health, both body and mind, building a better you with Concrete. Register now at concrete.com/podcast. That's CON-CRET.com/podcast to receive free membership to Planet Fitness for an entire year, plus a $500 Walmart Visa gift card. Available now online and in-store at Walmart. Concrete is truly changing the game.
Daryl Hammond's going to join us tomorrow.
Awesome.
There's a great documentary on him.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there
HBO,
is.
Or one of the
Oh, yeah.
services.
Find that out, Max, back, because I want to watch that tonight.
It's excellent.
I've done
He's a very wounded soul.
He's seen some things.
That story of him getting off that Disney cruise ship on one of those islands and being set up at a bar with drugs and locked in a Jamaican prison. His dad had to show up. That's an insane. Do you remember that story?
I do. I don't think it's in the doc, but he's had a tough.
How can that not be in the doc? It's the craziest story ever. So he told it on Loveline, I would say 20 years ago. We're probably good to
98.
He told it in 98. He's 24 years ago or so. I'd like to revisit that story with him.
Yeah, the movie's called Cracked Up. And I'll have to send you a link to buy it. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. Yeah.
Too bad.
All right. We will talk to him tomorrow. We'll take a break. We'll do some news right after this. Hey, Max Zapata, remind me to ask Daryl Hammond if my theory is correct or not. He was the first Colonel Sanders.
Pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, and the theory is...
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the theory.
No.
I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
No, he was the first Colonel
find that
Sanders,
out.
and I remember talking to him backstage at Caroline's or something, and I don't know, he seemed sort of whatever. Seemed like maybe he's a New York guy, he's an SNL guy, he's an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now he's Colonel Sanders,
Right.
and I think he got a lot of shit for it. And then they went to the revolving door of
George
colonels.
Hamilton's
They
and
went to
yeah.
everybody. Everyone but Adam Carolla.
That's right.
But the point is I think they're planning on going with him. And I think he quit, and they decided to turn it into something.
Right.
But
we
I
can
don't
find
know.
out.
We can find out. All right.
All right. Well, TMZ reports that the Netherlands is in a full lockdown again over COVID, but that's not the headline. Thousands of people took to the streets in Amsterdam to voice their displeasure, and they were met with a canine unit and batons and crazy shit. I'm going to show you the video. Reported 30 or so people are said to have been arrested during all the mayhem. Tons left with bruises after being smacked with a baton. The country went into a renewed strict lockdown protocol late last month because of a new wave of Omicron cases. Shut down just about everything. Here's a clip of the skirmish that shows a police dog, and I'm going to show you the whole thing until the police dog lets go, clamping down on this protester's arm, and then another police officer comes in and uses the batons on others.
Where is this?
Netherlands.
Amsterdam?
Yeah. So he's got the guy's arm, swinging the guy around. Now he's on the ground. The dog's still clamped. The other officer in the corner is beating back men and women.
God damn. Orwellian, man.
The dog is still clamped on the guy's arm. Isn't there a command to let go? There it goes.
I have experience with police dogs. The answer is no.
That felt like a long time.
I did. I was attacked by a police dog. It's a
In the Michelin Man outfit.
Man show bit. And the trainers of the police dogs are much scarier than the dogs themselves. There's always the scariest dude and the canine unit dude who handles the German Shepherd. Those are the scariest motherfuckers on the planet.
Why?
I don't know. It's like why was every shop teacher I had in junior high the worst person on the planet? Why is every publicist the worst person? Like, certain gigs just attract a certain dude. Like, because I'm a cop who doesn't want a partner. I want the partner to just be fanged and into the back.
Turner and who? Killing machine that doesn't talk to me.
Right, doesn't talk to me.
Yeah.
Question me about my diet or my relationships or anything. I think about the dude who's attracted to that. And, you know, I said when I start running and that dog, you know, takes me down, what's the word? What's the safe word? Like, you must have a word to get him to stand down. And he's like, not really. I mean, once it's on, it's kind of on. I remember the guy saying to me, it's kind of a light switch. And once the switch is thrown and the dog is on, and I was like, so how do we get him off of me once he's on me? And he said, I run down there and I kick him in the ribs.
Oh my God.
And then he'll get off you.
He goes full Olga.
But it's pretty much on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So he just does something quick and painful to redirect the dog's energy really quickly.
I don't know, you know, exactly the science of it. I know that once the dog...
Because no talking to it.
Once that dog's in that mode, that dog's in that mode. And
well, we saw that.
It'd be nice if there was a secret whistle or something.
Yeah.
And it's maybe that way in the movies, but in real life, that dog is seeing red.
Speaking of movies, I saw Licorice Pizza last night, but I saw the trailer beforehand. There is a new Channing Tatum dog buddy movie coming out, where it looks like a combination of like heartfelt, like, you know, war remembrance veteran story and just fucking Keystone Cops hijinks.
Oh, this is different.
It is such a bizarre
It's called Dog.
Sorry, you can skip ahead like the middle where the dog.
We don't have any sound.
Yeah, like the dog is like, you know, run through hotels and all sorts of crazy shit.
Saw the trailer.
Yeah, and it comes out this February, and Channing Tatum's like this war veteran. It's a very tricky tone to nail.
Like he needs another blowjob because chicks are going to go bonkers because he's Channing Tatum, but he's also now the dog lover guy.
Oh, dogs go crazy. But that was on the heels of, like, they're into cutting it with, like, the dog reuniting with the soldiers. What the fuck is this movie?
I have no idea. I had the same thoughts. I watched the trailer with Sonny before we saw the Spider-Man movie, and I was like, I don't know,
sweet.
I don't know what the fuck this is. Yeah,
And this is called Dog.
It's called Dog.
Okay.
I believe it's called Dog.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, as you saw in the and there's a
he's pretending
to
get the dog into the hotel again. Hijinks,
but it's a
mixed with
service dog.
Again, mixed with like reuniting with soldiers.
Okay.
The fuck.
So let's move on from that because that video even jarred.
Everybody.
I took back my donation from your charity.
Everyone's getting Omicron, kids. That's the new world order. So might as well just let them out, let them get it, and get it on. Get
All
your
right.
vax and call it a life.
That's right. Patton Oswalt got a lot of heat in the last 24 hours. Multiple people DMing me, emailing me, texting me, are you going to talk about this? So I guess people want to talk about it. He's issued a very long apology on his Instagram account after he apparently received criticism over performing with Dave Chappelle in this New Year's Eve show.
Can I say this? I was thinking back on the Netherlands cops and the dogs and the batons and beating the shit out of everybody.
I remember that.
You have to. And all right, so what do we got? Well, we got this crowd that's protesting, right? And we got dogs and we got batons. And then what's everyone else got? Well, they got their iPhones with their cameras and they're filming all this shit, right? But the cops are like, I got this baton. I'd like to beat someone with it. And I got this dog. I'd like to use the dog. But you live in a place with no black people.
Now what?
So
what do you do, hotshot?
No.
What do you do?
What you do is you beat the fuck out of people with fucking impunity. Because you could imagine the optics of this. Like NYPD's got a bunch of brothers jumping on the hood of the car. What if they just took that fucking baton out and just started beating the shit out of black people? And what if a dog? What if they came out there with their dog?
It's civil rights all over again.
Just go get him. Get that black guy, Fido. You would be, you want to talk about destroyed? You would never work again. Your career would be utterly, and by the way, it's not really about the activity. You could be riding or jumping on a police car or pushing back against COVID, whatever it was. You get, I don't know if it's Black Lives Matter. I don't know what the event is, but you do something over the last couple of years out in the streets, you're about 30% African American, a lot of women, a lot of Hispanics and stuff like that. You can't go out there with the fucking dogs. The optics of that would be insane.
True.
Insane, but you have an all-white population.
And they unleash the hounds.
And you go get them.
Yeah.
That guy, if that guy ever switched to force to work for Chicago or LA or NYU, I'd have to have a real discussion about the dog and the baton and like when and
holster all of it.
With whom?
Yes. Smart. Good observation. So
speaking of black fellas.
Yep. Chappelle brought Oswalt up as a surprise guest at the New Year's Eve show, and fans a little miffed at that because of Chappelle's controversial remarks about the LGBTQ plus communities. So Patton wrote this long apology in his Instagram account. It says, he explained basically they've been friends, he and Dave Chappelle, for 34 years, and how much he respects the way Chappelle has refined ideas about race and history through his jokes. But then he goes on to say, for all the things Dave helped me evolve on, I'll always disagree with where he stands now on transgender issues. But I also don't believe a seeker like him is done evolving and learning. I cut through a lot of this because it was very long. I'm an LGBTQ ally, and I'm sorry, truly sorry that I didn't consider the hurt this would cause or the depth of that hurt.
Oh, the hurt. Oh, he's got his arm around a black man who tells jokes into a microphone. Oh, apologize.
I've been messaging a lot on Instagram today, and the back and forth has really helped guide me in the writing of this. Gonna keep trying.
Got it? Yeah, but you're not good enough, Patton. You have to keep trying. Now, by the way, Mike August, this is his happiest day ever. He always goes, you can never you can never save enough in the woke bank. I don't care how good you are, how woke you are, what you've done for this community. I don't care how you are. You fucking get out of line, and they're coming after you.
His happiest day ever was piping upon that cachet of toilet paper.
So
this is what this is up there. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't find it off the top of my head.
I know. I like the crazy sort of new world order of like, I am learning. You're not learning. You're 58. Who gives a fuck? Well, Dave Chappelle's a friend of his from 34 years ago. He's
allowed to have a friend.
Dave Chappelle's not hurt anybody. He just pays a shitload in taxes.
And to Mike August's point, like, Patton Oswalt is a hero of the woke community.
That's what I was going to say.
How much more ensconced can you be?
And he has an old bit, and I think it's from like maybe 2009 or something. But he has an old bit that's like, listen to people's language, listen to their heart, put it in context. He says, like, I'm going to give you an example of two different people. You tell me which one's on the right side of history and on the wrong. And, the first one is very eloquent. And, I believe that cisgendered men are the way to go because we need to procreate the planet. And it's very eloquent. And then he has this one that's kind of hillbilly that's like, if a guy with a dick don't want a dick no more, what the fuck is it to you? He wants it. And so it's like, he's been saying this since long before these kids or these now adults were interested in comedy.
Yeah, just don't apologize. Don't talk about how you value their input, because all you do is get more input from assholes. Just don't say anything or tell everyone to fucking talk to the hand, because you empower a small group of douchebags to think they have some control. Whatever Patton Oswalt's relationship with Dave Chappelle is, that is their relationship, and they're welcome to it. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's not an endorsement of anything for you to go out to dinner with Dave Chappelle.
And it wasn't a headline that they did a show together. It was a headline that he apologized.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they did a show together until this happened.
Yes. It was like when Ellen sat with George Bush or W or whatever. It's like, they're civil people, and they disagree on politics, but they like watching Cowboys games and eating pretzels.
In all seriousness, once the mass has grown to encompass Patton Oswalt, who's left? Who's outside that?
Nobody.
I'm serious. Like
nobody's
George
ever. Maybe until whatever happens, you cannot accrue those points in the woke bank. You cannot. This is a global issue for our society, which is, if you have a life of taking care of family and paying taxes and not running afoul of the law and being a good citizen, and then oftentimes beyond that with the charitable stuff and the causes and everything, and then you take a picture with the wrong person, that does not mean you didn't lead a righteous life. And that doesn't mean we don't want you in our society. We want many more of you in our society. We'll do a reenactment tomorrow. I have a couple of things that reminded me of it, but I was there used to be an old joke. I said at some point that one of my books, we now have crafted a society where smokers are looked down on more than deadbeat dads. Mm-hmm. And then somebody tweeted me and said, there used to be that adage, which was, when I was 7, my dad went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back.
That's right.
And now we would judge him more for getting the pack of cigarettes than abandoning his family. We'll do 1970s guy explanation to you young kids reenactment tomorrow. But it's about your actions. Patton has never hurt anyone. He's a taxpayer. He does a lot of charitable stuff. He's the least of anyone's problems. Please keep your eye on the prize of the people that actually are the problem. You did remind me, Max Zapata, I got a song for you to cover.
All right.
I think the first 45 I ever purchased.
My
family ever purchased.
Thomas Edison.
Because you said that, because Patton said that Dave Chappelle was a seeker.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And he should have never apologized.
Yeah.
But,
because I had a Fisher-Price record player, and I could go pick one record. And I thought I was purchasing the theme to Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But because it was red. But turns out I bought Toto. I bought Toto. It was Africa. And I was pleased.
That's falling up.
That was my first actual single.
I got a cassette single. Bryan Adams, Everything I Do For You.
That I believe.
The biggest song in my senior, or excuse me, 8th grade year.
Cassette single. So it reached number 2, is kept away from number 1 because of I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same song.
Oh, and it's actually now they're back to the original lineup from '62.
The Seekers are still around.
Yeah. Well, they did a live recording called Farewell in 2019, but they released some more stuff in 2020. So I mean, according to
Farewell till next time.
And there's also another nomination for Retro Rock and Rock because they have a song called "The Gypsy Rover."
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The whistling gypsy came over the hill down to the valley so shady.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know anything other than I remember that 45 when I was 2 or 3 years old.
I was
Seekers.
not expecting that.
The first jumped in my head.
And the first cassette song I ever purchased was Whitney Houston's "We Are the World." Children of the Future. The greatest love of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so I'm so glad we have a little bit of time to get to this. Very important. In 2010, then Rolling Stone writer David Frick put together this list of 100 greatest guitarists. Over a decade ago. And now Ted Nugent has gotten around to having some problems with this list. And the reason why I specifically want to talk about it, because
Timely Ted.
That's right.
His biggest gripe is against Joan Jett.
Oh, he's a genius, that Ted Nugent.
So here's a minute clip of Nugent on YouTube telling his audience exactly what he thinks of this list and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Bullshit.
That's right. And by the way, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015.
Ugh.
To put Joan Jett, love Joan. Some of my greatest memories include lesbians. I love the lesbians. It's it's a cocktail of wonderment. Love Joan Jett. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Great rock and roller. But as a top 100 guitar players, but you don't list Ricky Medlock?
Come on.
Or Dave Amato?
He's in the Seekers.
Or Dick Wagner?
Dick
Wagner and the Frost in Detroit. Or Mark Farner? Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. Joan Jett is on the list, but not Mark Farner. Grandmaster Flash is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but not Grand Funk Railroad? Oh, by the way, if Grandmaster Flash is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Joan Jett is on the list of the top 100 guitar players, then I'm Caitlyn Jenner's boy toy.
Thought you'd like that.
Yeah, Joan Jett sucks. It's all fucking attitude. But first off, her 2 biggest songs are covers, or one is a cover?
Crimson and Clover.
And then I love
Everyday People.
I love Rock and Roll. I thought somebody else covered, or somebody wrote
it's
it.
a cover.
I don't know. I just know Everyday People.
I might be overstepping. I thought it was.
Yuck. Ugh. I know.
The girl from Heart, Wilson, she's got to be on the list. Well, I guess we don't have the list, but
we all have to pretend like we love Joan Jett because it's like at first it was. Now it's a hate crime. It was a cool crime before. Like, come on, look at her hair. She's such a She's so rebellious and everything. Yuck.
I don't think that song's a cover.
Oh, okay.
But Crimson and Clover, Everyday People.
Somebody may have written it then, maybe.
It's got such a,
we'll see if you're right.
Such a timeless blues riff that song's probably been done in some version 500 times.
Yeah. Yuck.
Uncle Teddy.
Fuck her.
Okay. One more?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we might have to have Sylvester Stallone on to give us maybe the more personal details about this. I just have what the news is reporting. But Adele is buying Sylvester Stallone's Beverly Hills estate, and she's getting it for a bargain. Sources tell TMZ that Adele is paying $58 million for the property, originally listed at $110 million. It's got 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a gym, a sauna, steam room, infinity
that
pool,
was furnished.
cigar room, screening room, custom bar, 2-story guest house, art studio, so much more. He bought it back in the 90s. He has referred to it as the house that Rocky built. It's one of the largest properties in Beverly Park, which is like an uber gated part of Beverly Hills. And it sits on over 3.5 acres. As we know, as he's told us himself, Sly and the family moved to Palm Beach, Florida. They moved into a massive estate for $35 million, so still making money on it.
Yeah,
Adele, I never can figure out who has what. I mean,
Yeah.
I know she's insanely popular. Is it all coming from venues, from touring,
Song
from
rights?
songwriting,
Yeah,
rights?
publishing. But also, didn't she have the residency in Vegas?
Yeah, but
Well, that pays a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. We looked into that once, or I looked into it once, or somebody did. It's pretty buku bucky.
Well, yeah, that's right. If you're going to get Adele for a month or Lady Gaga for a month or whatever.
Yeah, what you
Well, I
want
thought
to?
she was there for a long. Am I totally wrong?
I don't
about that?
know. I don't remember.
Yeah, God,
Sure.
imagine buying stuff in the '90s out here. That house
Sounds
that,
like a dream.
That house that Jimmy said I should tear down was $350,000, and it's like 2.3 million. I don't own it anymore, but it's like $2.5 million now or something. It is insane what real estate has what's happened in real estate.
I know.
How do we reconcile that with the storyline that everyone's leaving California?
That well, there's a I don't know what it's called, but there's a gauge, a way of measuring, and the
I'm
measuring.
sure it's complicated.
Well, no.
That spits out,
California is down on people coming to California. Whatever, they measure it. I don't know. They measure it like rainfall, and the average is this much. And traditionally, people come to California, and for the first time, less people showed up than left. So, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this unit of measurement or gauge where you measure the states that have the most and the least wealth.
Okay.
So I think Puerto Rico's number one. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around that. They have super poor and super rich.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have a rich friend who moved there to avoid certain taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a number of people house their wealth there or themselves, and thus it imbalances.
California, I think, is number 5.
Wow.
So we're up there. And so we have Adele, and then we have all the people she passes.
Right.
She passes in the refrigerator boxes on the way to, or all the guys that are mowing the lawns or living in Sun Valley or Sunland. We're starting to create that chasm, which is not what you want, but it's definitely what we got. So I was walking along the beach in Malibu the other day. They're constructing homes on PCH, double wide lot, whatever. You're looking at a thing that is $65 million. They're building right there on the beach. People have that kind of money, and then we have everyone else.
Yeah, then why can't I buy a house in Valley Village?
Because you're a little more in the sleep in the refrigerator box side of the track.
But those shitty houses are over $1 million.
I know, and politicians always talk about the middle class. The middle class. We need the middle class. It's not working.
No,
it's California, who's on the vanguard of sort of progressive whatever, is just creating a poverty state, like sleeping on the ground, and then there's Adele, and that's what we're having.
Well, and to give you just some info on the residency, it's every weekend from basically the middle of January to the middle of April. You just show up on the weekends and collect your check.
Oh, for
the residency,
like Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I talking about our house.
Oh, no.
Residency. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Joan Van Ark.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
I used to watch John Marshall, her newscaster husband, who had the very rare blonde perm.
Ooh.
Nothing creepier in the 70s than a perm.
Okay.
Rarely seen blonde.
Okay.
Perm. He had a blonde perm. He was they were both crazy avid joggers.
No.
They had a big dog and they
Jogging.
jogged. And speaking of the haves and the have-nots, they lived somewhere in my neighborhood, but my neighborhood had this weird Mason-Dixon line of shitty, shacky houses that I was on, and then you go across the street, and there were some nice spreads in what was kind of Studio City Valley Village back then.
He seems to still be enjoying the perm.
He's still rocking the perm?
Yeah. That's an old picture.
Oh my God.
Did I exaggerate his crazy blonde?
Like a blonde chia pet.
Yeah. But this is him as an older gentleman with a tight curl.
He was a local news, like ABC, Channel 7 news anchory guy out here for a million. And this picture is older, but there's older pictures of John Marshall who just had the full blonde perm. Imagine doing news with a full blonde perm.
Hard to trust you.
I wouldn't believe a thing you said.
Yeah.
You'd be like a bridge collapse in San Francisco. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, perm
Trouble
boy.
in the Middle East.
Yeah, right. Bullshit perm, man.
Where's your squirting flour?
Yeah. All right, we'll see if we can find that. First, I'll tell you about Geico. Do you own, do you rent your home? Well, sure you do, and it can be hard work. Well, you know, it's easy getting your bundle working with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your automotive policy, and it's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your house. You just go to geico.com, get a quote, and see just how much you could save. Geico makes it easy when you go to Geico. That is geico.com. Is he still married to Joan Van Ark?
I think
According
so.
to Wikipedia.
And according to my tenure at Hugo Boss.
I saw those guys jogging in the 70s.
That's awesome.
Around North Hollywood.
Damn.
That's
And a
great.
giant sheepdog. And he would jog everywhere.
What kind of money do you think they have?
Green, just like you and me, bro. No, I don't.
Carry on. It's a stupid question.
He was a. Well, he did. Now, okay.
Back in the Ron Burgundy days when anchormen
Yeah.
were like, a celebrity.
And yogging with a soft J.
Were they? I mean, they've been married for 52 years or something, right? I mean, they.
I wonder if they're friends with Suzanne Summer and her longtime husband.
Alan Hamill.
Yeah. That'd be a good power duo.
I mean,
Double
they
date.
fucking stuck it out. I mean, if they were, I was watching them jog around and.
Wow. Married in 1966.
Good for them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's 56 years? Jesus
Got this year, it'll be 56
Christ.
years.
That's great. Mazel.
Jogging around the neighborhood. All right, can you find a picture of him at the news anchor desk from
No,
back
I mean,
in the day?
there's not a lot.
Come
of him. I
on.
mean, it's like the most common name
He
ever.
was
But
on
He did it every
television
night.
every single night.
then you'll find it.
Yeah, all right,
Wow,
Brian,
snapback.
shame that boy.
Snapback from Chris.
Or Gina will find it.
What's that? A promo?
Yeah, that's
Is
just
that a-
another shot that we were able to find of him.
He had
channel was
he
he
had a I don't know. He was one of the three. He was local news, and he was a celebrity, and so was Joan Van Ark. So there you go. And finally, in 1997, I realized my dreams to be hooked up on a Pictionary team with her and have her fucking destroy my premise by shouting out the word black over and over again. Kids, don't ever dream. Don't
worth
ever
it.
dream.
That's the lesson.
Because that's the lesson.
Yeah.
I was a young Adam Carolla watching the young blonde Joan Van Ark jog around his neighborhood and thought, one day we'll share the stage together with Bert Convy, and I'll have a dry erase marker in my hand, and will they talk then? They will
They'll
talk.
all see.
They'll all see. But I didn't have the part where you sat on the sofa and yelled out the wrong word over and over again and fucked my shit up.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't dream. Don't even dare to dream. All right, you can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows, and you can also watch my Truth Yeller special over at dailywire.com. And you can check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Adam Carolla. Got a lot of free stand-up and whatnot there, and all the vids we've been talking about. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Gina Grad and Bald Bryan saying, Mahala. It'll happen all the time, or like my back is jacked up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Olga will come in and she'll go, do you want me to get you a heating pad? And I go, no, just like reflectively, like, don't do it. And I'm like, this year I'm going to be like, yes,
good.
I could use a heating
Why the
pad.
fuck-
Self-care.
As I say to myself often in these situations, what the fuck am I trying to prove?